Hey guys, it's Lotus and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to continue on with our read-along of Guardian. Let's jump right into it. Okay, Chapter 9. Zhao Yunlan crosses his feet and pulls his knees up, wrapping his arms around them. Why are you so agitated? If you didn't know the victim and her death had nothing to do with you, why are you so afraid now? Why did you take a detour last night? What made you take a longer route rather than taking that path? Li Qian shrieks, sits down as her legs give out, and covers her face with her hair. Zhao Yunlan pulls one hand down by the wrist. You can't just run away from it. Look at me and tell me what you really saw. Li Qian shakes off his grip so violently that the hospital bed moves, iron feet scraping on the floor. I don't know anything! She shouts hysterically. I don't know! Don't ask me anything! I don't know anything! Your campus isn't very big. Zhao Yunlan lowers his voice. You must have seen her or met her somewhere. Perhaps a study room, the library, or the cafeteria? Do you want to know how she died? When we found her, her body was lying all alone in that small alley. Her stomach was slashed open and emptied. There were teeth marks on some remaining guts. So I personally deduced that the murderer ate her internal organs. There was blood, well, everywhere. They still haven't managed to clean the stains completely. And you know what? Li Qian squeals in terror. Zhao Yunlan remains coldly unmoved. He has no intention of letting go of her. When her stomach was slashed open, she was still alive. She could watch her liver, her kidneys, her guts being eaten one by one. She would have heard the crunching and munching of her own organs. Can you imagine? Mute, Li Qian curls up in a ball and buries her head in her hands. The school nurse on duty has heard the screaming and rushes in. What's wrong? Zhao Yunlan shoves his ID under his nose and shuts the door in his face, saying, Excuse me, police investigation. Give me 5 more minutes, thanks. Arms crossed, he turns and leans against the door, looking at Li Qian. For the 3rd time, he says, Tell me, what did you see? A shadow, she says suddenly. Zhao Yunlan's expression grows deeply serious. He strides over and squats beside her. What kind of shadow? Please be careful. Shunwei takes care to remind them and picks up a broom to clean up the shattered glass. Should I see myself out? Li Qian, how about I get you another glass of water? Zhao Yunlan waves his hand. No, it's good you're here. I didn't bring a female colleague along. And if it's just the 2 of us in here, it wouldn't be appropriate. He helps Li Qian get up and hands her a pack of tissues from the bedside table. What kind of shadow? Think closely. We crossed paths and I saw her wearing the t-shirt, so I knew she was a fellow student. I greeted her, although we didn't know each other, but she just said, Excuse me, and rushed past me. And then... Li Qian raises her reddened eyes and trembles. I looked down, and I saw her shadow. She had more than one. She had 2 shadows. Shunwei says softly, multiple light sources could create multiple shadows, perhaps. No, not like that. Li Qian interrupts tremulously. The shadow appeared where there was no light, and it was much darker than normal. And most importantly, that shadow was moving all on its own. The room is eerily silent, and Li Qian is on the verge of shaking apart. Shunwei leans forward and pats her head for a bit of reassurance. Please calm down. I really saw it, Professor Shun. I really saw it. Li Qian grabs the hem of his jacket and bursts into tears. I saw it follow her all the way, and when she went into the alley, it suddenly stood up like an actual person. I was scared to death and I ran. I thought I was dreaming. It was just an illusion, you know? But now you had to tell me that she's... She pushes Shunwei away, dashes to the corner of the room, and vomits. Shunwei gives Zhao Yunlan a reproachful look. Zhao Yunlan rubs his nose and says, don't worry, her reaction could have been worse. You didn't see it, but this morning at the scene, one of our rookies almost vomited out his own intestines. Shunwei looks at Zhao Yunlan helplessly and shakes his head. He asks the nurse at the door for some mineral water, lets Li Qian gargle her mouth, and helps her get up. Li Qian's legs are shaky. She stumbles to the bed with Shunwei's help. sits down and looks dully at Zhao Yunlan. It killed her, and I saw it! So it's coming after me! It won't let me go, will it? Zhao Yunlan doesn't reply, but fishes a small notebook and a pen out of his pocket. What did it look like? I'm not too sure, but it looks like a person, about this tall. She motions with her hand. All black, a little short, a little fat. Zhao Yunlan frowns. A little short and a little fat? Li Qian nods. Could it be that it wasn't short, but you just didn't see it stand up entirely before you ran away? Li Qian pauses for a moment, then drops her head. Maybe. Zhao Yunlan looks at her strangely. And then? Then I ran away. Zhao Yunlan doesn't say anything, just scrutinizes her. Li Qian is clutching her fists. Her fingers are turning white. After a moment, Zhao Yunlan lets it go. He tears off a piece of paper, writes a string of numbers on it, and says, If there's anything else, please call me at once. My phone is on 24/7. Thank you for your time. He stuffs the paper into Li Qian's hand and stands up. Shenwei says, I'll walk you out. No need, Zhao Yunlan replies. I'll go outside for a smoke. You stay behind to chat with her a bit. I'm a bit worried that I scared her. Sorry about that. Shenwei looks at Li Qian, who doesn't seem to know what to think and isn't reacting to Zhao Yunlan's words. After Zhao Yunlan has left, cigarette in mouth, Shenwei asks her as gently as possible, Are you hungry? I'll go to the cafeteria to get you something to eat. Now that Zhao Yunlan is gone, Li Qian relaxes a little, and with all that strength goes out of her. She shakes her head feebly. Shenwei says, I'll call the doctor in to look after you. You have a good rest here before you head back, okay? Li Qian nods. Shenwei goes to the door, stops, and turns around. Do you have enough cash? I could give you some. Li Qian gives him a forced smile. Thank you, Professor, but that's really not necessary. Shenwei looks at her and sighs. Eventually, he subtly reminds her, Li Qian, some lies are intentional, some are not. The former are to deceive others. The latter are to deceive yourself. No matter what, it is very sad. Li Qian is petrified. Shenwei drops his gaze. Never mind. Please take good care of yourself. He makes a detour to the school pharmacy to pick up a bottle of medicine, then hurries towards the exit. Zhao Yunlan hasn't quite made it outside yet. He's walking down the corridor, talking on the phone. I checked. This time it's not our problem. It's a problem from their side. The female voice on the phone isn't Wang Zheng, and her tone is rather mischievous. Last night the gates of the underworld opened and a dozen souls went missing. Most of them are new ghosts less than a week old. They want to stay on Earth and they don't know the rules. Fair enough, they can't cause much harm. The real problem is that they say a hungry ghost got away in the mix. Zhao Yunlan thinks he heard her wrong. A what? A hungry ghost! Zhao Yunlan is furious, and the voice on the other end is an old colleague, so there's no need to dissemble. He looks around and sees nobody, but still lowers his voice. What the F is all this shit? Which mother effing Hellguard was to get fired? The prisons aren't perfect. Besides, they're still using management from the last century down there. These hungry ghosts who've been imprisoned for a long time are the most desperate, and the prison guards are useless. If it were me, I would probably break out 8 times a day. She pauses for a moment. Oh right, since someone died, he will be sending a letter, perhaps even visit us in person. So come back quickly, I don't dare open his letters. Zhao Yunlan frowns. Right, got it, I'm coming. Help me take care of something in the meantime. The small alley that faces the main university road. There should be CCTV around. Help me find the footage. Maybe they caught something. Then check on Li Qian, first-year postgrad in foreign languages at DCU. Also, while you're talking to downstairs, ask them for me whether they've heard of an ancient sundial with a wheel of reincarnation engraved on the back. Zhao Yunlan glances around and sees Shenwei catching up to him. That's all. I have to go. Call me if you find anything. Zhao Yunlan hangs up, turns around, and in the blink of an eye erases his angry expression. He turns from an old hooligan to an innocent youth in a second, saying gently and politely, Wait a moment, Professor Shun, if you'd be so kind. I like how he just switches his face really quickly. Okay, so, to summarize Chapter 9, Zhao Yunlan interrogates Li Qian and gets her to talk about what she saw, and she admits to seeing a second shadow that was following the victim and that eventually killed her. And she's also afraid that it might be after her next. So Zhao Yunlan is trying to figure out who this shadow might belong to, and he's still kind of suspicious of Li Qian. Shen Wei also knows that something is up, because he talked to her a little bit after Zhao Yunlan left. And then, of course, Shen Wei runs after Zhao Yunlan to catch up with him before he leaves, because he wants to talk to him. He wants to spend some time with his crush, his unrequited love. And Zhao Yunlan is like, "Hello there, Professor Shen. I was not cursing up a storm on the phone just a minute ago. How may I help you?" Okay, so let's move on to Chapter 10. Chapter 10. Shen Wei hands him the bottle of medicine from the campus hospital. "You forgot your medicine." He looks at the wound on Zhao Yunlan's elbow and frowns. "Be careful with it. Keep the wound dry and don't eat irritating foods. And..." Zhao Yunlan stares at him in silence. Shen Wei grows a little uncomfortable. "What?" Zhao Yunlan changes tactics and asks, "Are you married, Professor Shen?" Startled, Shen Wei blurts out, "Why would I?" "Oh, well, do you have a girlfriend?" Zhao Yunlan continues. His gaze is intense. Somehow, Shen Wei feels that both yes and no are equally bad answers. Wow, Zhao Yunlan is really shooting his shot, right? He's so forward. Do you have a girlfriend? Are you married? Would you like to change that? Zhao Yunlan uses the opportunity to take the bottle from him, turns it around a few times, and half-jokingly says, "Professor Shen, you're young and talented, and so thoughtful. You must be a catch." Wink, wink. "Don't talk nonsense." Shen Wei is a little ruffled. Zhao Yunlan smiles, dimples deepening. "Right, can I borrow your phone for a second?" Shen Wei takes out his phone, but Zhao Yunlan doesn't take it. He holds the back of Shen Wei's hand, enters his phone number and name in the contacts list, calls himself, and then hangs up. Wow, that is so smooth. He really just took the time to get Shen Wei's number. Okay, I give you props, Zhao Yunlan. You know what you want, and you take what you want, right? "I'm leaving my contact details," Zhao Yunlan says, pretending to be professional. "If there's anything about the case, feel free to get in touch. Or call me if you want to talk about anything else, Wink, wink. He throws the bottle into the air and catches it, then waves at Shen Wei. "Thank you so much. I still have things to do, but once this case is over, I'll treat you to a meal, Professor Shen." He saunters away unhurriedly, one hand in his trouser pocket. From behind, he looks careless and laid back, but somehow he gives off a charismatic vibe. He's like a peacock displaying his plumage in a hormone-filled mating dance. As he walks away, Shen Wei relaxes a little, gazing after Zhao Yunlan with a faraway but restrained look. Only when Zhao Yunlan can barely be made out anymore does he turn around and walk in the other direction. A few steps later, he can't help but turn around once again, but Zhao Yunlan is now completely out of sight. In his contacts list is a new entry, a flirtatious Alyson, silently staring from the screen. He breathes the name and feels as though a knife is piercing the softest part of his heart, ripping and tearing it apart. He finally locks the sound away behind his lips. When he raises his fingers, he can still smell a hint of Zhao Yunlan's cologne. He closes his eyes and takes a long and deep breath. Wow, Shen Wei is down bad. He doesn't know what scent Zhao Yunlan uses, but when he first smelled it, it was as if it had been calling to him day and night for many years. On the tranquil campus, all one can hear is the sound of falling leaves. Shen Wei stands silently, expressionless. Only after quite some time, he smiles in self-deprecation, lowers his head, and hurries away. But the moment he looks down, his vague sorrow disappears and wears away, and his features sharpen, becoming quietly murderous. Ooh, what is he thinking? What's he gonna do? What's Shen Wei gonna do? Okay. Oh yeah, our boy Go Chang Chung, how's he doing? Okay. Go Chang Chung is struggling with his background investigation, having no idea what kind of background to investigate. So he talks to people incoherently and is quite self-conscious of his efforts. Even the big parrot in the flower and the bird market can speak more smoothly than he. It's almost noon when Zhao Yunlan finally calls. Go Changcheng returns to the entrance with a strange talking cat, hanging his head in despair and waiting for the chief to pick him up. He squats on the ground, but even his squat is different from the normal people's. He's curled up into a ball with hair covering most of his face. Plus, he's sitting next to a big fat cat. Passers-by give them odd looks. Half an hour later, the arrival of Zhao Yunlan finally ends the humiliating spectacle. Go Changcheng's legs are numb from squatting, and he limps along behind Zhao Yunlan on the quiet and beautiful campus path. From time to time, he sneaks a glance at Zhao Yunlan's back, for all the world like a young wife who accidentally burned down the kitchen, worried and aggrieved. In this half hour of waiting, Go Changcheng has reflected deeply on the events that happened in his first 12 hours of working for the SIU. He feels extremely frustrated. Wasn't that just a gloomy little building? Wasn't the light just a bit weak and spooky? Didn't the chief just casually say something that didn't make sense? Why did he pass out? Go Changcheng never thought he would qualify for the high-salaried SIU with its fat bonuses, but now that he has gotten in due to connections, he has to stick with it even if he's humiliated. Otherwise, how can he face his uncle? He looks at Chief Zhao, who is carrying Dacheng on his shoulder. Although the cat is incredibly fat, and the chief has to crane his neck until his posture resembles that of a stroke victim, he still looks so handsome and cool. Wow. Chief Zhao isn't that much older than Go Changcheng, but he's always so sure, as if he isn't afraid of anything. Zhao Yunlan turns around, and Go Changcheng quickly looks away. What's up? You wanted to say something? Zhao Yunlan, who's been cursing him behind his back, asks gently. He's so two-faced. Go Changcheng drops his head like a kid with autism, hiding half of his face behind his black fringe. Oh, that's an odd way of putting it. Okay. Don't be shy, Zhao Yunlan says kindly. If you want to say something, just say it. We all have to communicate with each other for work. You'll learn eventually. I'm not bad-tempered, and even if I do get mad, it never lasts for longer than a day. Dacheng listens quietly and hides his head behind his paws. Even after thousands of years of cat life, he still cannot understand human hypocrisy. Go Changcheng stutters for a long while, and finally says on the verge of tears, I think I'm so useless! Haha, did anyone say you aren't? Zhao Yunlan thinks happily. However, he keeps up the two-faced act and pats him on the head affectionately. Ah, come on, young man. It's your first time out in the field after all. Nobody is perfect, am I right? You'll get there slowly, I'm sure. So tell me, what did you learn from the teachers? Oh! Go Changcheng hurriedly takes out a notebook. The victim is called... She's called Lu Romei, postgrad in maths. She's a local and her family is quite well off. The Faculty of Mathematics doesn't have a lot of girls, so people take care of her, and she's quite popular. I didn't hear anything about her getting into trouble or having enemies. She was applying for a research opportunity, but she spent a lot of time on extracurricular activities, so her grades were dropping. He babbles on with this kind of nonsense, and it's hard for Zhao Yunlan to listen patiently all the way. Finally, he asks him, Is there anything else? What's your opinion? Zhao Yunlan is surprisingly patient. I think some of the other students competing for a research opportunity might have a motive, or she may have provoked someone during her off-campus social activities. We could investigate her relationships with other students. Go Changcheng glances at Zhao Yunlan insecurely. That's all that I can think of. Oh. Zhao Yunlan doesn't confirm or deny, just nods slowly. He stands still with his hands behind his back, and leans down just a little. So how do you think she died? Go Changcheng can't figure out what he means, so he says stupidly, she was... murdered? Zhao Yunlan can't help but burst into an annoyed laugh. Unfortunately, Comrade Go Changcheng is oblivious to any kind of subtle emotion or expression, so as soon as he sees the chief laughing, he is relieved and eagerly tries to goofy giggle as well. Chief Zhao has never dealt with such an oddball before, so he controls his anger and, with an inscrutable face, finds something leader-like to say. You're doing well, you're very attentive, you have a lot of potential. Go Changcheng jerks his head up. The man in front of him looks down with a gentle smile. He's so good-looking, Go Changcheng can't find ways to describe it, and the words fill him with warmth and strength. He finds himself blushing. The chief really is too good to him. Suddenly, he understands the saying, dying for the one who knows you. He suddenly feels that Chief Zhao, who cares for him and appreciates him, is someone worth dying for. Oh, poor Go Chang Cheng, if only you knew. If only you knew what Zhao Yunlan really thought. Therefore, Go Chang Cheng takes the initiative and volunteers for a most difficult job, more difficult than death, talking to strangers. Then I'll go investigate her relationships at school. What's the hurry? Zhu Hong is still in the office. I'll give her a call and she can handle that. Zhao Yunlan says carelessly. How about this? I'll give you another important mission. You remember the girl who almost jumped off the building? She's a key witness in this case, and I want you to follow her. I think she lied to me. Go and figure out what she's up to. Go Chang Cheng stands upright and his eyes sparkle. Yes, sir. Zhao Yunlan nods. Right, go. Go Chang Cheng rushes away, his blood still boiling hot, and his chest stuck out as if rather than investigating, he's trying to stop a bullet. As soon as he's gone, the benevolent chief makes a foul face. Ugh, F me, he says to the cat on his shoulder. I've never seen an absolute idiot like this one. Mother effing impressive. Da Qing looks up at him with his big round face. You're really mean and hypocritical, Chief. You're a cat, don't give me that dog crap. You're the hypocrite here. Go follow him. I need to look for a thing back at the station. Don't let him die. Otherwise, what am I gonna tell his uncle? He pats the cat on the butt, and Da Qing meows lazily, bounces off of Zhao Yunlan, and trundles away. End of chapter 10. Wow. Okay. So to recap chapter 10, Zhao Yunlan gives his number flirtatiously to Professor Shun. He's like, call me if you have any information about the case, or if you want to like get dinner or anything. And of course, Shun Wei, poor BB, is having this internal struggle where he wants to reach out and embrace Zhao Yunlan, but also he wants to hold back because he's scared that he will hurt him in the process, right? Shun Wei, don't worry. I'm pretty sure Zhao Yunlan likes it kind of rough, so, you know, go get your mans. Anyway, we get to see what Go Chang Cheng is up to with Da Qing. He had done some interviewing around the school to learn about the victim, Lu Romei. We find out that she's popular and she doesn't have a lot of enemies, so who could be targeting her? So Zhao Yunlan's like, wow, this kid is dumb, but I can't fire him because he got in with connections. So, yeah, Go Chang Cheng, go and tail the girl that was a witness because I think she's sus. So Go Chang Cheng is like, wow, Chief is so nice. I won't let you down, Chief. He's such a cinnamon roll. Poor Go Chang Cheng. Please protect him. He's so trusting and, like, I feel like he has a lot of potential. You just have to give him a chance. And I think once you teach him, he's a fast learner. He's just, you know, he's socially awkward, but, like, a lot of us are, right? Anyway, Zhao Yunlan is still suspicious about the whole thing, and he has some investigating to do. He also is going to have to meet someone who's going to come visit, because this case is definitely related to evil spirits. And so, you know, the Dark Cloak Envoy will be making an appearance soon, and I think Zhao Yunlan has to prepare to greet him at the SIU. So hopefully we get to see their meeting in the next or upcoming chapters. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed today's read along, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye!